Good morning, friends, and welcome back to another edition of Stoned in the AM. Today is Wednesday, January 28th, 2015, and I'm just going to go ahead and start you off with some news. So 3 Russian spies were caught trying to spy around in New York, trying to figure out the economic situation in America, trying to gather some economic information, and they were trying to figure out basically how our economy is set up. And the FBI walked in, said, "No, Russia, we don't want any of your spies in New York, we're going to send them back." And then we went and kicked them out, caught them as spies, and that was pretty much the end of that story. But I have some news for you, Russia. So if you really want to know about America's economy and why we look so good, why we're always so great, it's because we know deep down that no matter how shit our economy is, and it is shit, let me tell you, it is bad right now, but no matter how shit it is, we still know that we're the best fucking country in the world. And that's why Russia sent spies over to try and see how we're doing so well, when we're obviously not. Alright, now moving on. We've got Facebook starting to censor images of Muhammad and other offensive images. Now Facebook's they've not been shy about doing this in the past. They've constantly been on top of internet censorship, and internet censorship laws they've always been on the side of. Now, the reason it becomes so interesting that they started censoring Muhammad is because 2 weeks ago, Mark Zuckerberg actually posted a very strongly worded letter regarding the Charlie Hebdo shootings, speaking about free speech and freedom of expression in this post. Now, it's interesting to see that 2 weeks after he makes this kind of post, we actually do start seeing censorship in Facebook. It's a little bit hypocritical, and it kind of sucks to see people caving in to pressure like this. I understand that it offends some people, but I think freedom of speech and freedom of expression is something that we have access to in the U.S., and we should be using it as often as possible. And every other country should be trying to speak their mind and actually have that freedom of speech and expression, and no one should be getting punished for having thoughts that other people disagree with. Moving on, Google Fiber is actually going to be moving out to Charlotte, Raleigh-Durham, Atlanta, and Nashville. So if you live in any of those places, you'll soon have access to the wonderful internet that is Google Fiber. Download speeds as fast as 2 gigs, the low end of the spectrum, and is up to 8 gigs on the high end. Just vastly increasing internet speed, 10 times faster than regular internet, easily. So looking at that, now, if you live in Phoenix, Portland, Salt Lake City, San Antonio, or San Jose, they're actually thinking about maybe moving out in that direction in the next couple of years. So keep a ear out for it. Watch out for Google Fiber. You could be seeing it in your neighborhood in the next couple of years. All right. In entertainment news, Louis C.K. just released his newest album, Live at the Comedy Store. It's currently online. I recommend you all go check it out. Louis C.K. is one of my favorite comedians, and he is constantly releasing content that is nothing but quality. Highly recommend you check him out. He's one of my favorite. Go do it. All right. Now, you know how I was talking to you about about graphene the other day? Well, I've already given it away a little bit, but we figured out how to use graphene in solar panels. Now, I know you're thinking, we already have solar panels. Why is graphene solar panels going to be any different? Well, audience, I'll tell you again. The current solar panels that we have run at an effectiveness of 11 to 20% for any commercially available solar panel. Now, this is not the big solar panels that you see. I know you're thinking 11, 20%, that's not very much. There's obviously better ones out there. And you're right. The kind of solar panels that you see, the super big ones, the really expensive ones, they can get up to 30% effectiveness, which means they're actually translating 30% of the light into energy. Now, the best we've ever been able to get standard solar power in a lab is 40%. Now, that's the absolute highest we've seen with the current setup for solar power. Now, remember how I was saying graphene is going to be crazy, crazy cheap pretty soon? 1,000% cheaper? Well, they figured out that a graphene-powered solar panel is actually 60% efficient. Now, granted, this is in lab, but it's still, that's the best guess. It's at the worst, it's looking at doubling some of the better quality solar panels out there in effectiveness and in power and in use. So I'm really excited that graphene is going to be going down in price. We're going to see it spreading out to all these different markets. We're going to see it creating a boom in the solar panel industry when solar panels actually become almost as effective as, or just doubly as effective as they used to be. Alright guys, that's been it for Stoned in the AM on Wednesday, January 28th, 2015. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the AM.